That's it. That's shared. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Modern technology.
It's amazing, isn't it? So I've shared that now. Okay. Here we are, everyone. Okay. So awesome stuff. Let's just get into it. Okay, good evening, everyone. It's Coach Tregs here, the founder of 30 Plus Men's Fitness, and thank you for tuning in. Tonight, I am joined by somebody that I was introduced to virtually a couple of weeks ago when I popped up on Facebook and said, I'm looking to speak to somebody who is a sleep expert, especially in the field of over 30s men. And this guy was recommended to me by multiple different people. Coach Danny Wilson, it's nice to have you on.
It's as cheesy as it sounds. It's a pleasure to be here, Tregs. It's good. It's good. I'm happy, man. Been looking forward to it.
Excellent. So, as you can tell, Danny's a Scouser, and there is a big game on tonight. And I said to him, listen, mate, we'll be finishing 7:45 ready for the big match. And his response was...
I couldn't really give a fuck, to be honest. I'm not, everybody thinks, I'm not actually a Scouser. I'm from the Wirral. Yeah. So I'm a wool, as they would fucking say. Yeah. Are we allowed? Where are we with swearing?
Say what you absolutely like. Yeah.
Okay. I've been on I've been on interviews before, and I've sworn, and they've gone.
No, you do what you like, mate. Do what you like.
So yeah. So I've never liked football. Wow. My dad didn't like football. I've got two brothers. One's a blue, one's a red. But yeah, it never really bothered me. And coming from years ago, I was a petrol tanker driver. So I would drive around everywhere delivering fuel, and you'd go out of area, and people would hear the accents, and they'd be like, "Oh, are you red or blue?" And I'd be like, "I don't really like football, you know." Wow. And it's when you're talking to a man in a manly environment, in a factory, in a refinery or something, they don't hear you, and they just keep talking about football, and you're like, "I've just said that I don't follow football, so I have no idea what you're saying." And they just look at you and go, "So what do you think about the..." And it's like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, my youngest son loves footy. My eldest son doesn't. My two brothers do. My girlfriend is the footy fan in our house.
Well, you could say I don't like football either, because I'm a Man U fan for my sins. So
I don't even know what that means.
Brilliant stuff. All right, well, look, let's put that aside.
Go for it, man.
I want to get into obviously tonight's live chat. By the way, guys, this will be recorded for YouTube as well. So, as a coach for over 30s men, and as someone who is 40 plus now, like yourself, I've always known the benefits of sleep, pretty much since becoming a fitness trainer, 15 years ago. Although I've never really needed any encouragement to have a good night's sleep. I always say I built my business on hard work, 9 hours sleep a night, and power naps. And I stand by it. But then obviously when I started to learn more about, the benefits of sleep, I became evangelical about it, especially to, my audience when, a lot of shift workers, Danny, people with young kids, career driven, sacrificing sleep for the dollar and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm big on the promotion of sleep to my clients, but you've actually gone a little bit deeper with all of this. You've become known as a sleep expert. So tell us a little bit about how that happened. Tell us a little bit about your background, et cetera, et cetera. The stage is yours, my friend.
Okay, cool. So yeah. So it turns out I'm the sleep expert. So I got into sleep. I think it was a kind of natural progression. It was a combination of looking at what I could do to take my clients to the next level. What can I do? Why are my clients struggling? Right. Okay. Let's look at this objectively. And in that, I kind of figured that I wasn't sleeping quite so optimally. I'm from a hardcore background. I'm from a sleep is for the weak. I'm ex-military. I'm an ex-doorman. I'm an ex-nighttime tanker driver. So sleep for me was never really a thing. It was like, shut up.
Yeah.
Sleep when you're dead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't really need that kind. So I was I was dragging my ass round on 5 hours kip every night.
Wow.
And just thinking that this is just, suck it up, brother. This is just the way it's supposed to be. You know, you work hard, you rag yourself into the ground, and then hopefully you'll kind of get somewhere. And it's only when I started to really look at that, my health wasn't, at the time I thought I looked good, but when I look back at pictures now, I'm like, oh my God, you fucking fat mess. I was a typical bodybuilder. I was always bulking. So I was like, it's always in a bulking face. I was always like this. And I was the type of bodybuilder that would never take the t-shirt off because I fucking looked like a fat cunt.
Right.
So I started kind of looking into how can I make myself better? I've got 2 kids, a failed marriage, which is, you know, down to bodybuilding, down to my behavior, down to the way that I held myself. So I started looking at what can I do to give myself the edge. So I started looking more into, and do you know what? This is because I'm 44. What I found was, as soon as I hit 40, my own mortality massively came into play.
Yeah.
Up until I was 40, I didn't really give a fuck.
Same here.
I was abusing myself most weekends, doing things that I shouldn't do. Didn't really care. But then when I got to 40, it was weird, Tregs. It was like I woke up on my 40th birthday and went, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I started looking at a little bit more into health then. This coincided with the end of my marriage. So I was deep in reflection about, you know, where I wanted my life to go, mistakes I'd made, started looking at how can I become the best version of me, started looking more into health, started drinking less, started eating a little bit better. And then you start to feel a little bit more nimble, a little bit better, a little bit more alive. So you're like, oh, what else can I do? Oh, I feel tired. Oh, sleep. Okay, let's look at sleep. Started to improve my sleep. Started to notice that I was feeling incredible. And then you just get on you just go down the wormhole of sleep, then, don't you? And it turned out that it was massively interesting for me. So I started reading about it, started researching it, ended up doing a sleep qualification with a guy in America.
Okay.
One of the top guys in this country, Angus Buckle, reached out to me, and he said, look, I'm doing a sleep certification, and you know, I'd love you to take it. I've been, you know, watching what you do, and I'd love you to try it, and, you know, give us your kind of opinions on it. So I did that. And then that has led to me, you know, meeting you. That's led to me talking, you know, in private client groups, giving seminars, and helping my own clients dramatically improve their lives.
Yeah. I think what's really interesting is that, like you said, a lot of people, they're just like, it's like, yeah, we got to work hard, you know, we do this, do that, sacrifice everything to make the money. And what, for me, you know, like I said, I never needed any encouragement to have a good night's sleep. But when I read Matthew Walker's book, Why We Sleep, and I saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast, for me, that was a game changer. And he actually said that, you know, life isn't actually set up for us to actually sleep well or be healthy. Now, you probably know more than me on this, but I'm sure that he said on that podcast that there are more deaths in America from people falling asleep at the wheel through tiredness than
100%.
drugs and alcohol. Can you clarify that?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. When I first read that, when I first heard that statistic, I was like, oh, shut up. How can that even be a thing? But then when you dissect it, when you look at it, in the past, I have done things, I have driven when I shouldn't have driven, not bladded, but, you know, and if you are intoxicated, you've still got a modicum of control. You've still got, there's a chance you're going to hit the brake in time. There's a chance you're going to turn. What I also know, being a tanker driver who worked nights, I've been very close to, I have fallen asleep at the wheel. It's only a micro sleep.
Yeah.
But you're like this. So I know that if you are asleep, you are non-responsive, you are non-reactive whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So if you've had, and this sounds like we're saying, no, go and have a drink, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's, if you are drunk, if you are under the influence, there's a chance that you're going to hit the brake. If you're asleep,
no chance. Yeah,
there's no chance at all. So yeah, so that's 100% correct.
So
terrifying.
It's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. I talk a lot about this to my clients because we kind of, like, we live in an age of like social media, technology, and there's everyone telling you, you know, get up, the 5 a.m. club, the 4 a.m. club, you know, grind, this, that, and the other. I'll be honest with you, right? There is, like, for me, like my sleep is everything, right? Mm-hmm. It's everything. And when I know you got kids as well. My kids are 9 and 8. They sleep through now, right?
Yeah.
They didn't sleep for the first couple of years of their life. We were in that hospital, various issues. They're all fine. They're pictures of health. But for 3 years, we had very disrupted sleep. And my missus is exactly the same as me. She absolutely loves our sleep. We measure our sleep. Like, it's really bad, right? But for me, like, waking up refreshed without that fucking alarm, which I know we've all got to have sometimes, mm-hmm. It is unbelievable. And I know the benefits myself are, you know, I have more get up and go. My discipline is better. I don't feel as hungry. I can perform better at work. I've got more energy. Everything is improved. Now, I can tell all this to my clients, but you have obviously got qualifications in all this. I want you to lay bare exactly why sleep is so important for health, fitness, fat loss, vitality, the fucking lot. Lay it bare.
Cool. So, like you've pretty much just touched on there, sleep underpins everything. We know if we are looking at improving health and fitness, we are looking at making better nutritional choices. Adherence is the number one factor in success or failure. If you want to increase your ability to adhere to the plan, you need to give yourself the best. You need to come at things with the best perception. And the only way that you can positively alter your perception so that your decision-making goes through the roof is by giving yourself 7 to 9 hours of restorative sleep every single night. If you are sleep deprived, your decision-making ability will go through the floor, which means that you are going to reach for the chocolate. You are going to reach for the crisps. You're not going to go to the gym. You're going to have too much coffee. You're going to shout at your kids. You're going to shout at your missus. You're going to be a shit boss. You're going to be shit at work, all because you haven't recovered from the day before.
Can we talk about the impact of the hormone ghrelin as well? Because this is something that not a lot of people know. Mm-hmm. But I know when I was sleep deprived for years, I could almost feel it, that hunger hormone in my tummy. Yeah. It's like, you ain't had enough sleep, and I'm just like reaching for fucking cereal first thing. Tell us a little bit more about that, bud.
So you've got your your metabolic hormones, leptin and ghrelin. They are supposed to work together. Leptin is stored in the fat cells. That basically, it tells that it's like a fuel gauge. It tells the body, no, we're okay. Ghrelin is the opposite of that. Ghrelin is the hormone that makes your body go and makes your stomach cramp. So ghrelin tells you to eat. Leptin tells you to stop. When you are sleep deprived, they're all over the place. They're literally, they're not working in unison. If we are looking at calories, I'm not a fan of calories because I did it for that long. But we know that if you are sleep deprived, you are going to eat, 300 to 500 calories a day extra.
Yeah.
Just through grazing, just through your stomach going, we're hungry.
Yeah.
And you never, ever, ever, when you're hungry, reach for organic salmon and kale. Do you when you're tired, your head is in the crisp cupboard, and you are, and the thing with when you are sleep deprived, you will rationalize it with yourself as well. You're like, oh no, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. I can have this family size bar of Galaxy. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Because you're tired. Your brain is searching for ease, for the easiest access to anything. So it's like, oh, well, we could go over there and we could get all this food here, or we could go into the kids' Easter cupboard,
yeah,
and we could just eat 3 Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And then your brain starts to rationalize it and go, no, it's sound. Don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah. I think that we're always having these conversations with ourselves anyway.
Oh, yeah.
At it from a kind of mindset. Like I like to, when I talk to clients, I tell them about, we've got different parts of the brain. You've kind of got this animal, you can call it the chimp, whatever you want to call it, depending on what you've read. That's the side of the brain. It just wants to sabotage. It wants to party. It wants to go to the vices, the drink, the alcohol, the booze, the sugar, whatever it is. And you've got logical brain that, there's a lot of people that are woken up today after Easter and maybe overdone it. They're waking up, their logical brain is going, I want to get results. I want to get results. But then if they're tired, then the old animal's going, look, come on, let's just fucking let's just party. Like, the animal wants you to sabotage. And I think that, like you said, adherence, this is so important, because if we can have a good night's sleep and if we wake up refreshed, then we can we can manage that side of the brain, right?
Yeah, we struggle because the emotional part of the brain is generally the stronger part anyway. So if the rational part of your brain, if that is tired as well, you're going to struggle to shut the emotions up. You're going to struggle to stop that. And part of sleep is regulating your emotions. So it's getting hold of that emotional part of your brain and saying, come on now, let's calm down.
So I want to talk a little bit more about why poor sleep affects us so badly. And then we're going to talk about, of course, how we can go about fixing it, which I always say to people, you've got to give it time. It's not, I always say this is, I've suffered with insomnia at parts of my life when I had bad anxiety. But I always say this, it's not a quick fix, but if we can fix it, oh my gosh, how much is that going to change your life? So I know, having been sleep deprived and now not being sleep deprived, just how fucking amazing it feels not being sleep deprived. I want to talk about poor sleep and training, okay? Because we've all done it. We've all gone and trained on poor sleep. When my kids were young, I got into a pattern of I was having poor sleep, but then using really heavy duty pre-workout. My body was stressed. Then I'm putting even more stress on it. Then the next day I can't move. I want to overeat, so I take more. It's a cycle. Let's talk about poor sleep and trying to stick to a training routine.
Okay. So again, adherence comes into it. If you are coming into the day sleep deprived, if you're chronically sleep deprived, I think it's important to recognize that every now and then you have a bad night's sleep.
Yes.
Even the best people, I have you monitor your sleep. You have bad nights. I have bad nights. It's just one of those things. As long as the majority of time we are having a good night's sleep, that's absolutely fine. But if you're chronically sleep deprived, if you've been deprived of sleep for 2, 3, 4 days, your adherence is going to go through the floor anyway. So probably not going to go to the gym. If you drag your ass to the gym, I've done it so many times, which is why I'm injured to fuck.
Interesting.
If you are chronically sleep deprived, your chances of injury goes up about 70%.
Wow.
Just that alone. I tore my calf 5 weeks ago, 3 weeks before I was supposed to do the Manchester Marathon. Didn't sleep very well. A few things going on at home, little bits of kind of stresses and stuff. Woke up early and thought, oh, fuck it, I'm going to go for a run now. Went for my run, only had about 5.5 hours sleep. Feeling good, pushed myself a little bit too hard, snapped my calf.
Wow. Tore
my calf. So there's nothing I can say about it though, because it's my fault.
Yeah.
I know doing what I do, I know that if you're sleep deprived, your chance of injury goes up. I went out anyway. I tore my calf. So it's a lesson to me. Your chance of injury goes up 70%. Your ability to recover from the exercise that you do dramatically decreases. There's a phase of sleep. I don't know if we're going to.
Go. Hey, listen, I'm all ears. But
there's sleep is phasic. So it's a 90-minute sleep cycle. In that sleep cycle, you go through light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. Light sleep is the transition from awake to asleep, and it's the transition between deep and REM. It's the deep part of sleep, primarily in the earlier part of the night, which is why going to bed earlier is a little bit better. That's responsible for mainly physical repair and physical regeneration. So if you are not getting enough of the deeper phase of sleep, your body is not going to repair, which is why a lot of guys will be like, well, I'm going to the gym and I'm doing everything right, and I just don't feel like I'm getting the results that I should be getting. And then we peel back the onion skin and we go, well, how much sleep are you getting? Oh, well, you know, I'll go to bed about midnight and I get up about 6. Okay, so you're giving yourself a 6-hour sleep opportunity, means you're probably getting about 5 hours sleep. Yeah, you know, whatever, sleep when you're dead, who cares? Why, what's that? And then you go into it and you're like, well, you're missing out on the deeper phases of sleep. So if we look at the night of sleep, the first part of the night is more heavily biased towards deep sleep, and that coincides with the body's release of natural release of growth hormone. The second half of the night, so from about 3 o'clock in the morning onwards, that's more biased towards REM sleep, and it's REM sleep, which is emotional repair and emotional regulation. So you've got deep sleep, physical repair, and you've got REM sleep, which stops you fucking flying off the handle. This is why when you are sleep deprived and someone says something, you fucking lose your bananas, and you're like, why have I just done that?
Yeah,
you didn't. You know that this reaction did not. That did not. That didn't need this reaction. You know. So when it comes to exercise, when it comes to the gym, if you are not taking care of your sleep, if you're not prioritizing your sleep, you're selling yourself short. So you could be doing everything right. You could be training hard. You could be eating better, but you're not quite getting to where you want to be because you're depriving yourself of the deep sleep.
So essentially, by not having this REM sleep, this deep sleep, that is affecting our testosterone levels as well, right? Which leads obviously into that subject, because obviously as men in our 40 plus now, you know, our testosterone levels are dropping, and people will ask me in my free communities, like, what's the best, legal, test booster and this, that, and the other. And I say, honestly, it's weight training, but it's also sleep. So can we talk about the effects of lack of sleep on testosterone in men over the age of 30?
Yeah, well, if you go about 5 nights with 5 to 6 hours sleep, your testosterone levels are the same as a guy who's 10 or 15 years older than you.
I've read that. Fuck.
It's big. It's massive. It's huge. And unfortunately, human beings are the only species on the planet who choose to reduce our sleep opportunity. We choose to deny ourselves sleep.
That's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe the fact that, that we've got to get up and work and earn a living and shifts and all that shit that we'll come on to.
Yeah.
So essentially we're looking at, I mean, just to sort of round this up, crap sleep means that you're going to be a snappy prick. You're potentially going to risk injury. Mm-hmm. Your fucking hunger's going to be all over the place. Yep. And your testosterone's going to be through the floor.
Yeah. Sounds like a right laugh, doesn't it?
Fucking, do you know what I mean?
Sign me up.
And then, where do we go from there?
It's phenomenal. So you've got low testosterone, you've got your metabolic hormones are all over the place. If you are chronically sleep deprived, generally weekends are the biggest obstacle in anybody's health and fitness journey. You are going into the weekend with low libido, and you are going into the weekend with the same blood glucose levels as someone who is pre-diabetic.
Wow.
We're painting a pretty picture here.
Yeah. It's absolutely frightening. Okay, so now we know how detrimental poor sleep is to our health. Okay, let's start looking at why in this day and age people are so chronically sleep deprived, and then we're going to look at, in the last 15 to 20 minutes, how like a sleep protocol for somebody that's really struggling, because I would like to say that I've helped many clients improve their sleep, but I have got some clients that are still fucking insomniacs. So why are we a nation of sleep deprived, low testosterone men?
I would say the biggest culprit is the way that our lifestyles are set up.
Yeah.
We just don't want to go to bed. We want to watch another episode on Netflix. We want to stay awake. We're trying to claw back. It's called, I've got it written down, it's called revenge nighttime procrastination. And that's basically, we work so many hours that we're trying to claw back some of the day. We're trying to claw back some social life. So a lot of guys, especially the self-employed guys, personal trainers, we work weird hours. We kind of work early in the morning. We go in for clients early in the morning, and then, late at night, we're still working with clients because clients work all day and that's the only time. So we have this weird kind of setup of our day. So by the time we get home, we don't want to go to bed. For you to get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, you need to be in bed for at least 9 hours. So if you're getting up at 6, you need to be in bed for 9. So if you're finishing work, if you're not getting home from work till 7 o'clock, trying to tell someone to go to bed at 9 o'clock, they just don't want to fucking know, do they?
Yeah, and they feel like you said, they feel like deprived out of some kind of missing out on life, and it's a really hard sell, isn't it? Because you're like,
it's massive,
working hard. It's like, I want to come home, I want to watch Netflix, I want to be on my phone.
But this is my time. I'm like, well, that's absolutely fine. Just stay looking and feeling the way that you do. Then it's up to you. I'm not. You're a grown ass man. I'm not gonna tell you that you have to do it. All I can do is advise you. It's up to you what you do. And then sometimes they just don't. And then the others that do it, and they're like, oh my God, I feel incredible.
Yeah.
My relationship's much better. My kids love me a bit more. I'm getting on better with my wife. I'm better at work. Wow. Do you think that's maybe because you're going to bed a little bit earlier? No, can't be that. Okay.
How much of a problem are smartphones in this day and age with people being sleep deprived?
Huge. I did a video on this very subject today on my YouTube channel.
Wow.
It's
okay.
Huge. And the thing is, and this is, I'm big on self-responsibility. I'm big on putting your hand in the air and saying, this shit's on me. So the video I did today, I was like, I'm not saying that it's not on you, but I kind of am. So the way that mobile phones are designed, little pretty things, handsome things, they are designed by the top behavioral scientists on the face of the planet. They are designed with one thing in mind, and that is to keep you on that phone.
Yeah.
As long as you are on that, it's called the attention economy or something. As long as you are on that phone, they are collecting data about you. They are building up a profile of everything that you like, your habits, your dislikes, your this, that, and the other, so that they know you more than you know yourself.
Yeah, it's frightening.
So they need you to stay on that phone. And there's a couple of ways that they do it. One of them is called, I can't remember what it's called. It's something like inconsistent reward or something. And the way that basically works, it's why they have likes, and it's why they have shares and notifications and this, that, and the other. Because every time you pick up your phone, you're getting a different reward, and you don't know what it is. If you knew that every time you picked up your phone, you had 5 likes and 1 share, you wouldn't pick your phone up.
Yeah.
But because it's the unknown, you go in, ooh,
Yeah.
what's happening now?
Hey, do you know what? It's like I was in the gym today, and I have a rule now. Like if I'm training or something like that, I'll wear an iPod shuffle because I don't want to be distracted. It sounds really silly, but I don't want it.
No, it's not. It's
on charge for like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Airplane, and the fucking excitement to check it after my workout.
Yeah.
What did my reel get? How many people have watched my story? Yeah. What have
they know that. So every time that you get a little like or someone tags you in a photo, you get a little release of dopamine in your brain, and you kind of crave more of it. And then the more you get, the more that you want. So you end up just in a scroll hole. I was reading, there's a book called Stolen Focus.
Oh, wow.
And in that, the guy was talking about the guy who invented the iPhone, or one of the top guys who was in that project. He kind of regrets doing it because he feels guilty because he sees the monster that it's kind of turned into. It's not just a way of keeping in touch with your friends anymore. It's a big, dark, horrible, scary business. The guy who invented infinite scroll, do you remember years ago? You'd get to the bottom of the page on your phone and you'd have to press next.
Yeah. Next. Yeah.
That little, it's called a pattern interrupt. I don't know if you use this with your clients. It's called a pattern interrupt. So just pressing next would possibly give you a signal that maybe I need to stop doing this now. That's been taken away. Infinite scroll. So you can just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and you're mesmerized doing it. The guy who invented infinite scroll, obviously a multi-millionaire, he is the same. The way that he sees it, he's like, shit, yeah, I've got this amazing life, but at what cost? What have I done?
To the world.
You see kids just walking around, scrolling on the phones, and it's. I think we went off on a bit of a tangent there, didn't we?
It's a real problem. It's
save the world.
Problem. And we all put our hands up, and like all kids have got games, and we're all as addicted to each other. So, a client said to me the other day that she'd read something, and it said, might have been Jay Shetty. He said, "Would you let a stranger come into your bedroom first thing in the morning, or last thing at night?" And if the answer is no, then why are you on your phone? And like me and my missus are guilty of it. We'd be like, both like that. I actually said that to a male client. Would you let a stranger come in your bedroom first thing in the morning? He went, yeah.
So the way that I do it with clients is we have a digital sunset and a digital sunrise. And I do it myself. So from 8 o'clock at night until 8 o'clock in the morning, my phone goes away. Wow. And whenever I say this, people are like, oh, I'm like, no, if my kids text me, I don't just fucking ignore them. But, my phone is on the other side of the couch. There's a few reasons for this. If we look at it from a physical point of view, shining a light in your face, light is is one of the biggest drivers in your sleep-wake cycle. If you're shining a light in your face like this, your brain is sensing that light. So it's going, oh, it's not time for sleep. It must be still daytime, so it stops you producing enough melatonin, which means that you don't go to sleep. So the physical aspect, that's keeping you awake by inhibiting the release of melatonin.
Yep.
But then you've also got the emotional side, how triggering social media can be. Someone says something that fucking pisses you off.
Yeah.
And then your subconscious gets a grip of it, and then it just plays it and over and over and over and over again. So that's your digital sunset. So give yourself 2 hours before you go to sleep. Fuck your phone off. Don't look at your. My phone doesn't even come in the bedroom. My phone stays outside on the landing. So then we kind of flip that around in the morning when you are transitioning from being lovely deep asleep. You've got that little bit of sleep inertia, so you're really open to emotional triggers. You don't have a go at anyone in the morning. You pick your phone up and you're in bed, and then someone says something on social media, and you go, "You fucking
yeah."
And then you start typing back, and then you reread it and go, "Fuck, he didn't mean that."
Yeah.
Shit, I've just started a massive argument here. And then what happens? It sounds all hippie and sounds all woo woo, but you're tuned into that negative vibe then. And then So someone's pissed you off on social media, or someone sent you an email that you fucking didn't want to see. So that's put you in a fucking mood. And then someone will drive past then with a car radio on too loud, and you're like, fucking radio's on too loud. Yeah. And then, fucking, this is gone. Hang on.
Yeah.
There we go. You're just tuned into just so much nastiness then. Whereas if you can give yourself 2 hours, 60 to 90 minutes without your phone in the morning, you can set yourself up to have a fantastic day. Yeah. I'm a big fan of meditation. I'm a big fan of breath work, big fan of starting the day right. Now, whenever I talk about it, people are like, fuck off. I'm like, no, you don't have to be sat there with fucking joss sticks and tie-dye shorts on.
Exactly, but, yes.
Yeah, but if you can start the day right, if you can get up, don't have any caffeine for 90 minutes. If you can get up, if you can, everyone shits themselves when I say that. Everyone goes, whoa, what are you, mad? Yeah. So you don't need caffeine in the morning. It's a habit. That's all it is. The driving force of wakefulness in the morning is cortisol. It's not. You don't need caffeine. So all caffeine does is makes you a bit scatty.
Right.
There's no need for it. So get up in the morning, litre of water, because you lose about a litre of water through your breath and through sweating and stuff overnight. Okay. Start the day hydrated. Yeah. A little bit of journaling, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of breath work, cold shower, bump. Punch someone in the face and you're ready to rock.
I want to talk about the whole meditation thing because it's funny because I've tried it. And I'll put my hands up. I haven't been doing a lot of it recently. And my son's 9, and quite often we'll do some like before bed. And I said to him, we haven't done that in a while. And he's like, yeah, I want to do it, Dad. He said, but sometimes I find it hard. And I said, well, that's because we're so tuned into everything else, iPads and all that before bed. I said, we got to do it. We got to put our phones away. And I just like to listen. I've got like an Apple meditation. So there's no talking. And honestly, right, Danny, I was doing this religiously for maybe 6 to 8 weeks last summer. 15 minutes as I'd wake up in the morning and I was coming to, I'd just put that on and it's just like birds singing and all that kind of stuff, and it was amazing. And then I stopped. Yeah. But it was setting me up fucking lovely for the day. And I put my hand up. I'm guilty of that. Like, I don't have any problem sleeping. I always wake up now. I'm very grateful, feeling refreshed. I don't have any stupid alarms. That was one thing that after the pandemic hit, I said, when everything goes back to normal, I'm going to do the school run every day. I'm going to wake up with the kids. I'm going to do the school run with the kids. And I love that. So it has been that's been a major progression. But yeah, I'm guilty. I'll check it. And I'm like, you're straight into that work mode. You're straight into it. Yeah. Yeah, this is really interesting. So look, let's carry on talking for another 15 minutes, if that's all right, because I know your bedtime will be at 8 o'clock.
Whatever, man. No, listen, 9:30 is when I go to bed.
No, this is great, mate. We got some great views. Any questions, guys? Post them below. We got some great views as well. So okay, let's say somebody is not being rudely awoken by an alarm. Shifts, obviously, we know can be a problem. Yeah. They've got an opportunity to sleep, but they can't get to sleep, or they keep waking up in the night, or they're just fucking a raging insomniac. Why does that happen to people, Danny? And then let's look at some solutions.
Okay. So the majority of sleep issues, people struggle to sleep through overthinking, through a restless imagination. A lot of the time, this goes for a lot of stuff with fitness. It's to do with identity. It's to do with how you talk to yourself, how you address yourself, because your ego is always listening. Your subconscious can hear you. If you continue to tell yourself that you are an insomniac, you are going to act like an insomniac and you're not going to sleep. Same with if you continually go, oh, I've got no motivation. Oh, I've got no willpower. You will then start to behave exactly like you are telling yourself. So if you continue to say, oh, I'm a terrible sleeper. Oh, I'm a terrible insomniac. Oh, I can never sleep me. Oh, I struggle really badly. You are then going to get into bed. You're probably not going to have done anything to prioritize sleep because I'm fucking terrible sleeper. What's the fucking point? So you're going to get into bed. You're going to lie there for 5 or 10 minutes and you're going to go, your subconscious is going to go, fucking see, told you, can't sleep.
Yeah. Been there.
And you're going to get stressed out, and you're going to get knocked, and you're going to start tossing and turning, and your body temperature is going to rise, and you're going to be uncomfortable and knocked, and you're going to start stressing and overthinking. So why the fuck would you sleep? Of course you're not going to sleep. So it starts with your self-dialogue. It starts with the way that you address yourself. You just stop saying that you're an insomniac. Stop saying that you struggle to sleep. Because if we rationalize this, you're struggling to sleep because you're not prioritizing your sleep. You're struggling to sleep because you believe you can't sleep. So what's the point in putting your phone away at 8 o'clock at night? You believe you can't sleep. So what's the point in giving yourself a 3-hour window from eating before you go to sleep? You are not doing anything that you're supposed to do, because what's the fucking point? Because I'm insomniac. There's no fucking point.
You're not helping yourself.
Get stressed out. So it's all to do with changing your identity, changing the way that you act, changing the way that you behave, changing the way that you talk to yourself. Yeah. Once you've got that in check, you can then start identifying as someone who's doing everything he can to prioritize sleep. So we give ourselves it's 4, 3, 2, 1. So we give ourselves 4 hours break in between exercise and sleep, 4 hours break. 3 hours break, no food. 2 hours, hot bath. 1 hour, no screens.
Love it.
If you can hold yourself to that, you will sleep. Then we start looking at light in the bedroom, noise in the bedroom, temperature in the bedroom. The way that the body wakes up is that throughout the day, your body temperature rises all day, up and down, and then it'll get to the peak, and then it'll start to dip. And then when it gets to its lowest temperature, that's when your body will start to wake itself up. If for whatever reason your central heating goes on at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning and the temperature of the room rises, your brain will go, fuck, must be time to get up, shit. So it will dump a load of cortisol into your body. It will increase your heart rate. It will mobilize fuel. It will go through the process of waking you up when it doesn't really have to. So when we look at the way we look at the way we identify ourselves, then we start to prioritize sleep, and then we look at the bedroom environment. When we've got those 3 in check, you will sleep.
I like it. So you're a fan of 4 hours before bed. We want to finish exercise. That's
100%, big time.
I always say this. I love training in the morning. I'm lucky being my own boss. I can train in the time I like. I used to play 5-a-side football in my younger years. And I used to play sometimes like it was like the 9 o'clock slot, like 9 till 10. I couldn't fucking get to sleep till 1 in the morning.
Wired.
So wired. Yeah. And even now, if I train like at that time, it affects my sleep. Chance. Why is that, bud? Why is that?
So there's a couple of reasons. You're wired.
Yeah.
You're excited. Your nervous system's fucking going. I used to play basketball every Wednesday, 8 till 10. And then I'd just lie there. Like,
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
that was amazing. Oh, I loved it. That was great. And you'd be playing things, and then you're thinking, "Fuck, I should have done that differently." Or this was great. This was good. So we've got your nervous system is just fucking going bananas, and we've got your body temperature. In order for you to initiate sleep, your body temperature has to drop a little bit. If you've been running around like a fucking lunatic in the gym, the chances of your body temperature going to where it's supposed to be are very, very slim.
Yeah.
So we give ourselves a 4 hour, again, we don't live in a perfect world.
No.
So we need to look at the laws of individuality. Sometimes we can't do it. We can't, I'm lucky, you're lucky. We can train at whatever time we want to train, but some people have to train a bit later on. But if you can, if your life permits it, don't exercise within 4 hours of going to bed.
Okay, let's move on to things like supplements. Okay, so I always sort of say I love the 4-step process. I think that's amazing value, mate. That's not one I've heard before. But I always say to clients, look, first off, we need to you need to be going to bed actually tired because you've been out, you've got out in the fresh air, maybe had some sunlight, you've been quite active. And then I always talk about, if you're really struggling, blackout blinds, dark room, no screen time.
Yeah.
But this worked for me. I've always been a massive fan of a nighttime tea, and also using some zinc and magnesium as a kind of first stop. And then, I actually found that CBD oil worked really well for me when I actually didn't get CBD oil for sleep. I'd got it for some hip pain, and I actually found out that it gave me a fucking amazing night's sleep. I use neither at the minute because I don't have any issues sleeping, and my lifestyle, I don't drink, my lifestyle's pretty dialed in. What do you think to that?
I think probably 99.9% of people don't need supplements.
Wow, it's interesting.
The supplements, but generally, we use them to mask something that's not right. So instead of sorting our shit out, we go, oh fuck it, I'll just take a magnesium tablet.
Okay.
Instead of prioritizing sleep, 4, 3, 2, 1, we just go, oh fuck it, I'll have some melatonin, it'll be sound. Most people don't need it.
Wow.
If you did 4 weeks, 6 weeks, not even that, holistically, and when I say holistically, sometimes I say holistically and people go, oh, holistic. Like, holistic just means whole body. Holistic isn't like fucking sprinkling herbs on and fucking joss sticks and shit. It's just a whole body approach. If you look at 4 to 6 weeks, prioritizing your sleep, you're not going to need supplements. Supplements just mask something that you should be fucking doing.
So you wouldn't even recommend like a nighttime tea?
No.
Okay, it's interesting. We've got lots of questions coming in, Danny, so I want to move on to the questions.
Yeah,
Andy Davis, one of my clients, says, is there a good tactic for shift work patterns?
In what respect? A night shift, day shift to night shift, that kind of thing? It's a tough one. Again, I just mentioned the laws of individuality. We've got to do what's best for each person, individuality. We don't live in a fucking ideal world. In an ideal world, we'd be getting up with the sun and we'd just be using candles at night. We don't fucking live in that world. So 7 to 9 hours in a 24-hour period should be your priority. That means that if you can get a 6-hour sleep and a fucking 2-hour sleep, go with that. Biphasic, go with that. Limit your caffeine use. Caffeine is such a big issue. People don't realize just how long caffeine stays in your system for. Caffeine will affect your sleep for 12 hours.
Wow.
If you, the quarter life of caffeine is 10 to 12 hours. So the quarter life basically means is after 10 to 12 hours, there will still be a quarter of the caffeine consumed floating around in your brain, having the effect on the adenosine in your brain.
And that's mad if you think about how many coffees guys are sinking. I mean, I'll have one in the morning, I'm good.
Yeah.
But there was a time, and we've all been there building a business. I was having 10 a day, mate.
Yeah, eight a day I was having at one point because I didn't realize, because I didn't know, because I was uneducated. Caffeine, the quarter life of caffeine is 10 to 12 hours. And the easiest way to explain it is if you have 4 cups of coffee at 9 o'clock in the morning, at 9 o'clock at night, there's still going to be about a cup of coffee's worth floating around in your system, keeping you awake.
That's madness.
So the shift work, 7 to 9 hours in a 24-hour period, limiting your light exposure and controlling your caffeine intake, doing what you can, basically.
Brilliant. That's a great answer. Thank you, Danny. Okay, James says, hey, James over in America, does any food help with sleep? It's an interesting one.
Again, if you're not prioritizing sleep, having a cup of warm milk before you go to bed is going to do dick all. So get your priorities straight around sleep, but there's no food that is like a sedative, really.
So, because I mean, there used to be this whole thing about, oh, don't eat carbs before bed because you gain weight. I know that's not the subject of this podcast, but you know, what about carbohydrate before bed? I've read stuff that can improve sort of melatonin, get you a deeper night's sleep. Any truth in that?
It's very, very person dependent. You get what's called postprandial somnolence, which is the sleepy feeling after you've had a meal.
Yeah.
The issue with that is if you eat too close to bed, the laws of thermodynamics, your body is going to be radiating heat, which means you're not going to be able to sleep very well. You also get a lot of acid reflux if you're lying down whilst digesting a meal. It's not very, very good for you. But again, it's very, very person dependent. But
I know if I've had a big, like on the rare occasions you have a fucking Domino's pizza or something before bed, no problem getting off, but you soon fucking wake up and know about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Ryan says, good to see you, Ryan. He says, is it an old wives' tale that cherry juice before bed helps sleep?
I have heard somewhere that it's supposed to help with sleep. But again, we come back to, it's like putting a fucking plaster on a broken leg. If you're not prioritizing sleep, and then same with what you said about pre-workouts, you've had a fucking bollocks night's sleep, so you'll have have 2 scoops of pre-workout instead. Yeah.
So the 4 steps, so essentially the 4-step process. Can you just go through that one more time as we come to the end of this chapter?
So it's 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 hours no food, 4 hours no exercise, 3 hours no food, 2 hours you have a hot bath. You have a hot bath. It sounds counterproductive because I've just said your body temperature needs to drop. What this does is it heats you up, and then you get out the bath and your body is trying to regulate its own heat. So it's dumping heat like a radiator. So it will drop your temperature that little bit quicker. Then 1 hour before bed. I like 2 hours, but 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 hour before bed, no screens.
And I think that's really interesting because, you know, it's like you said, so many people just say, oh, I can't sleep. But actually doing this, it's like if you go away and actually plug this in and give it time, it could be miraculous. And I always say to clients, you know, my first objective, I want you to lose weight. I want you to feel better, but I want you to have more energy. How would you feel having more energy? You're like, oh my God, I fucking love that. I absolutely love that. So these things require time. One thing before there's a couple more things before we finish off, but let's talk about continuous poor night's sleep and the kind of aging process. And I've also read stuff that continuous poor night's sleep for men over the age of 40 can lead to early onset of Alzheimer's. Any truth in that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not a scientist, but there is certainly good evidence to support the fact that not getting enough sleep, well, it gives you a 50% chance, 50% higher chance of living with obesity, increases your risk of getting cancer, increases your risk of dementia, and for anyone, but for men as we get older, we really, really do need to be prioritizing that sleep.
Amazing, mate. I've absolutely loved this. We've whizzed through like almost an hour. It's been absolutely awesome. So, Danny, I can't thank you enough, mate. You've been a real gent. And the moment I reached out to you, bud, you were just like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, cool, man.
Where can people find you on social media, my friend? Pimp yourself out. I've got no problems with that at all.
Pimp myself out. So, social media-wise, it's just Danny Wilson on Facebook or Danny Wilson Coaching, but I don't really use the business page that much. I just use my own profile. But my main focus at the moment is on YouTube. So that's just it's Danny Wilson Coaching on YouTube. Brilliant. Find it, click subscribe, and that's me.
Yeah, we'll get this uploaded to my YouTube as well, and we'll get it out there. Mate, Danny, the time has flown by, mate, and I'm really grateful to you for giving that up. Guys, I hope you've got some great value from this. I know I have as well. And, you know, hopefully you'll go away. It's given you some food for thought, guys. So, Danny, I'm going to end this recording now, but we'll have a quick debrief.
Yeah, sounds cool, man. I'll be here.
So, guys, you know, I really appreciate the time. If you're listening to this on YouTube, again, don't forget to subscribe to the 30 Plus Men's Fitness YouTube channel. Give us a like, give us a comment. We really appreciate it. So, That's all from myself, Coach Tregs, and the awesome Danny Wilson, the sleep expert. We appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you very soon. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
Thank you.